Hi guys, Steven here. This is Isaiah. We just got through watching the very first episode of Fist of the North Star. Like, back in 1983, 1984, that's when it was made. Anyway, if you want to watch poetry in motion, Fist of the North Star. What are you giving me that look for?
I don't know what I call poetry in motion. It's a fun anime. I think it's well constructed, but I mean we just watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it's got excellent color direction. It's got excellent character design. And if you want to talk poetry in motion, then that's the show.
Anyway, so very first episode of Fist of the North Star. Just wow. Like, you know, what can I say? I mean, there's an individual in the show. I'm sure there are fans of Fist of the North Star watching this, named Kenshiro, and he knows the ancient art of Hakuto Shinken. And Hakuto Shinken is basically just metal music made into a martial arts form. It's that awesome. He punches someone, they explode. You know, and
then cries a little bit.
You know, he didn't cry in this episode.
It's alright, we'll get plenty.
But if anybody was going to cry, it was going to be me, because it was that beautiful. It was that, you know, but I cried because I don't have shit to prove. So, anywho, so the episode opens, you know, showing you what happened to the world after, you know, like nuclear apocalypse, and, you know, there are bandits named Zed that, you know, are running amok, running around killing people. They are basically dogs. And, you know, so they kill people, and they eventually, like, come up on Kenshiro.
Which, you know, before we go deeper in that, I really want to say that I am not a fan of the expository opening, the big data dump that just tells you what the world is and how it got there. I think you can do your world building without having that kind of scene. And even Fist of the North Star is able to build up their world very well without that scene being there.
But let's be real for a second. Let's be real. I want to know why I saw the decapitated head of the Statue of Liberty in the deserted wasteland.
I think
How did that happen?
I think just showing you the decapitated Statue of Liberty in the setting tells you plenty about what the world is like now. And maybe you can have a character drop in conversation that, you know, there was nuclear war, but you don't need the big scene that just gives you all of that stuff. I think it's a very boring way to introduce people to your world, and there are better ways to do it, and even the show does it without the need for it. But that said, let's move on to the bandits.
The bandits, you know, there are three of them. Kenshiro is, like, walking, you know, in the deserted wasteland, and, like, he is thirsty. He needs a drink of water. And when I say thirsty, I mean, you know, like I just got through saying, an actual drink of water, because I know there are perverts watching this, so, you know, and thirsty means
he's dehydrated.
Thing. Yeah, he's dehydrated. Yeah. And anyway, so he's walking past these three bandits, and, you know, like I said, they're dogs. They're from Zed. And they, you know, decide to try to, like, mess with Kenshiro. So they throw a rope on him and drag him through the street. And Kenshiro is not having any of it. So
his eyes disappear.
Yeah,
and then the camera cuts.
Yeah, and so the next scene, you know, we go to Lin. Lin is, like, getting some, you know.
I'm not sure if we go to Lin yet. I think we get introduced to. I think we go back to Zed's base.
Right. Okay.
Because Zed's crew finds out that their scouts are dead now.
Yeah,
and they go to investigate, and their body has been ripped open from the inside. And these were the same men that attacked Kenshiro. Then we go to the village, because in the village we see Kenshiro again. But we're introduced to Lin first. And I adore Lin. Lin is a very, very charming character, very cute character. She's this 10-year-old girl that I think we get entirely too many panty shots of. But just she's mute, and they very quickly tell you a lot about Lynn's character, because the world already tells you a lot about water. One of the very first scenes that we see the people being attacked by bandits, the bandits steal their water, they steal their food, and then they dump all of the money away, because you don't need money in this way. And then we see the dehydrated Kenshiro. So we know that water is a precious commodity without them having that expository scene telling us that the oceans are gone.
Right.
And we're introduced to Lynn, and she is gathering water from other villagers so that she can give it to her dog. So what that tells us immediately about Lynn is that she cares about other people, but also people care about her.
Yeah.
Which is in stark contrast to when we're introduced to Bat seconds later.
Yeah, he's a bastard.
Yeah, Bat's a little butt. And I've watched plenty of Fist of the North Star in the past, and Bat was a character that I liked. But now watching this first episode again, I'm kind of like, I don't see what I saw in you, at least from this opening, because you're a little insensitive prick.
Yeah.
We see him introduced. He's been caught by villagers for stealing again. And he's being locked up. We're also introduced to Kenshiro again. Or we see Kenshiro again. He's wandered into the village, and since he's so dehydrated, he just kind of ghosts the water well. And so they think that he's a thief, and so they lock him up with Bat.
Right.
In which case we get the worst scene from Bat ever.
Yeah.
Lynn brings water to Kenshiro, and Bat tries to attack Lynn, make her give him the keys to escape. Thankfully, Kenshiro stops him, and then later Lynn brings them food, and Bat takes it upon himself to dump her whole history. And, I understand, you've got to have this kind of exposition in a story.
It wasn't his story to tell, though. That's, it wasn't his job.
Story-wise, though, someone had to tell Kenshiro, and Lynn can't do it herself. He could have waited until Lynn was out of the room, because he totally gave that poor girl a PTSD flashback.
All Bat had to do is be like, oh, she can't talk. It past events. That's it. That's all he needed to do. But that motherfucker...
But this show has to show you how bad their bandits are. Bandits go around murdering people, and this happens a lot in Fist of the North Star. I like Fist of the North Star. I think it's a little bit too macho. And so it just had to have this flashback scene where it shows what happened to Lynn's family.
He says macho, he means heroic. It's heroic. That's what it is.
Long story short, Kenshiro needed to have this information, or at least the audience needed to have this information about Lynn. But he didn't need to give that poor girl.
Right.
It's like, it's just seeing that scene and watching Bat be oblivious of what he's putting Lynn through while he's explaining it, because you see her in tears and you see her expression as her flashback goes on and her face is superimposed on it. It's like, oh my God, Bat, shut up!
Right. But enough about that. Bandits show up eventually after, they find out who Kenshiro is and everything else. And, Lynn, the very same person that, gave him water when he was thirsty, is now being held hostage by the bandits, and it's up to Kenshiro to go and, tell them what's what and throw them a beating.
Save the day.
Yeah. And, he saves the day. He saves the day and kills the bandits because that's his job. He's the last hero in the entire apocalypse, and, it was metal. There's no other word for it. This show is what Rob Liefeld wants to be when he grows up. That's how metal this show is.
It's a timely reference for you guys, but it's Rob Liefeld joke, so timely. But I guess we're critiquing an '80s anime. So.
It's just like he probably saw it. It's like, this is what I want, and keep at it. So, but anyway, I loved it. I know he loved it.
I enjoyed it.
I heard sniffling while I was watching it. And it's like, you're right over there. He's like, oh, I had some space.
Whatever. I enjoyed this episode. There were just little things that annoyed me. Just the exposition scene in the beginning. And just, man, Bat. And Kenshiro leaves with Bat in the end. He does the trademark Mad Max walking into the desert distance And Bat accompanies him, and I love sidekick characters. I think the more that we do videos like this, and if we start to watch more shows and movies with sidekick characters, you'll see me gush over sidekicks. Right now, like, Bat is not my boy.
Well, but Lynn calls after Ken as he's leaving, like the little boy does off of the Western chain. She's all like, Ken, and they're all like, no, he has to go because it's too dangerous for him to be here. He's leaving for your safety.
And you get the sad ending music.
Yeah. But, it's the beginning of something just wonderful. And this is like a palate cleanser because I needed it after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And
first episode of JoJo's was fantastic.
Yeah,
I think this first episode of Fist of the North Star is another really good, solid first episode.
Really good. You're just really underselling that. But, yeah. So, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to watch some more anime at some point. Or we're probably going to watch some more anime today, but you guys won't see it until another day.
Right.
But we're going to be watching more JoJo's and more Fist of the North Star, and I'm excited to see more of both of these shows.
Right. So am I. Yeah. Well, one more than the other, and I can tell you right now, it's not the anime that has a myriad number of J's